Hello, everyone, and welcome back to From Our Basement Gaming. We are back with part 3 of our Echo the Dolphin Sega CD Let's
Yep,
Play.
that we are. Stingrays. I forgot about that.
The sea creatures that show up in this game. Good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean I did too. I like seeing sea creatures.
Me too.
I know that people are like, oh, the ocean is a scary place, but it's also a fascinating place. I think part of the reason humans are predisposed to being afraid of the ocean is because we no longer have the capabilities to live under the ocean.
Right.
So naturally, we're going to, by instinct, be a little fearful of it. But I also find it a very fascinating place with many fascinating creatures and ecosystems.
Yeah.
I never really pursued working with anything marine because I am not uber book smart in terms of, like, I was never like an ace at sciences.
Well, that's kind of a shame because you might have gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it, but
Yeah.
at the same token, you wouldn't be sitting here playing this game.
Yeah, instead of talking about my fascination with dolphins, I would be probably up to my ears in research on dolphins. Which probably would have been cool, but
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if I had studied super hard, maybe I could have gotten better at it. But I think the other problem is I wasn't in an environment where I was encouraged.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that emotionally devastates me. And is gatekept. I feel it's not really for the masses, not the classes.
Yeah, they tend to pick people who have an affinity for it from the get-go.
Yes.
And not necessarily like, oh, you're interested in this? Well, let's help you get good at it. It's more like a, hey, you have this talent. I'm going to cultivate the talent you already have further. Is kind of the focus.
Yeah. And that's a very flawed way to approach that because
I agree. And that might just be a failure of our public school system.
well, that and a failure of
society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of not the public school should be doing that. And it should not, and again, restricting it to the private schools, that's keeping it with the classes, not the masses.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it's against my philosophy.
Like, I think I would have done extremely well in a magnet school, but you have to be, your parents have to be rich to get you in a magnet school.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to have connections.
That too. You have to know people, you have to be rich.
and be given this opportunity on a sort of platter by if they decide they deserve it.
Yeah, do you know I actually decided not to go to an expensive and well-rated college because of that attitude? Yeah, because you could tell, I mean, I could tell when I went to the open house for this college, and to protect its identity, I won't say what college.
Yeah, we're not going to. It's name drop it.
Yeah, but it's a college that would have been out of state for me, so that made it more expensive. Uh, and it's, an expensive college that has a nice reputation. It's not Ivy League. It would have still been within my reach, but it's...
I'll sum it up like this. If what I heard was true, there are ghosts, but that's about
Yeah. Well, that's not why. That's not why the school has a good rep. Uh, you have to be a little bit rich to do it, but I probably could have done it with loans if I was really invested. But when I went to the open house and I listened to the alumni speak about the college, none of it, there was no humility in the voices of those people. There was no, thank you, I'm so grateful for this school. It was just, after I graduated, I did this, I did A, B, and C. I got these awards, I got to do this research, or not even I got to do, but I did this research. There was, they just came across as a bunch of entitled brats. None of them were like, I'm so grateful for these opportunities that the school gave me, or, thanks to this school, I was able to do these things. I'm so great. I graduated from this excellent school, and I did all this excellent stuff, and don't you wish you were me, is the vibe I got.
Don't you wish you were me, man?
That's the vibe I got, and to me, that, and also I, spoke with some of the kids, and they were all, even people currently going to the school were just entitled, smart Alex who acted like nothing was challenging.
I'm getting the mental picture of the smart aleck kid from the Polar Express being rapped from Muni Power about how great they are.
I don't know. I can't relate to that. So.
Sorry about that, buddy.
Like at all. So I'm like, I can't tell you if that's accurate or not.
That's okay. To me, that's what it sounds like.
But anyway, I felt like, yeah, these aren't my people.
I don't blame you for feeling that.
If there had been a little bit of thanks to my wonderful professors who encouraged me, or thanks to the resources that this school provided me, if there was a little bit of that, there could have been a chance that I would have gone to that school. But the vibe of me, I'm so great, and really taking it for granted that it was thanks to them being in this fancy, rich school that has those connections. They wouldn't have been able to do any of that without the connections of the school, and there was no acknowledgement of that. And I'm like, my brain was like, aren't you supposed to be advertising this college and not yourself?
Yeah. So I don't blame you for saying no, because that was your first impression.
Yeah, like, it's okay to mention your achievements and be proud of them, obviously, but have a little bit of humility, or a little bit of, like, gratefulness about it. And that's how I could tell. I'm like, okay, so none of these students will be like me, somebody from a not very wealthy family that, probably will have to take out a bunch of loans to go to this place, and would be grateful to have opportunities that I didn't previously had. I'm like, there are probably no other students here like that.
Yeah.
And that's why I decided not to pursue going to that college. Yeah. Cause and I think that's the problem. Now I know these people weren't 1%ers, but I think with people who are starting to get up there, that's part of the problem. It's this lack of awareness and
tone deafness.
Yeah, and the lack of gratefulness. Just this attitude of like, well, of course I have access to all of this because I'm great. That they act that way, or like I was born into this greatness, and it's like, yeah. So don't take it for granted. Acknowledge that, and do something about it too, because that's the other frustrating thing. They can actually do something for us.
They could.
They don't, because they don't care. They're not taught. Especially if they're surrounded by other rich people, they're not taught how to feel empathy for the less fortunate.
Of course they're not.
Yeah. And they're also not taught that something could happen and it could all go belly up, and then they could find themselves on the bottom of the food chain all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They're also not taught that, and for that I feel bad for them.
To an extent.
And I have, honestly, in my own family tree, I have some ancestors who probably experienced that very thing, where they had a lot of money, something happened, and they suddenly didn't. And it's not that far back. These are relatives that my mom knew. Yes. And my mom witnessed that. So I know it happens,
Yes, you do, man.
So I've never necessarily been somebody to like applaud when rich people suddenly lose their money,
Their livelihood and their identity.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't celebrate that. All I really want is balance in the world. I would like there not to be a people on the top and people on the bottom, and then the people in the middle who are just
Yes, I do know about this pyramid thing, and I know that it happens. And what I want is the pyramid to lower to the top,
yes,
as opposed to monstrously high to the top.
Yeah, and have a little more capability of an upward mobility.
Correct.
Rather than the people on top either stay up there or they crash down. And the people on bottom can only get up so high, and then they just can't get any higher. That's something I want to see stop. And I don't think that's getting political, because that's just society.
Correct. It shouldn't be seen.
It's just I literally want balance, because it's like we all are humans, and I feel like we all deserve to have access to things that would make life good.
Correct. There is a correlation between the planet suffering and the hierarchy getting too high and having too much.
Yeah, like, and when I say this good life, I mean like access to things that can keep us healthy, access to enough food, to water that's not contaminated, to shelter, to not be burdened by...
I'm trying to talk to these guys.
Are these the... Oh, everybody's ignoring? weird. Did we mess something up?
I don't think.
Because that's supposed to happen when you cheat, but we weren't. We
Wait.
got here genuinely.
Why? The Dolphins not talking to you?
I had heard rumors about that. Okay,
That's
hold on.
strange.
I had heard if you use a bad password that happens.
But that was the password that we got.
The
with
game,
the
I know. That's why I'm weirded out. Hold on.
I found the killer whale.
Yeah, okay, good. So I guess we're okay.
Big blue, very old, very wise. Go north. And he swims away.
Okay, it doesn't know that I'm talking about Echo the Dolphin.
Same thing.
Big Blue's very yeah. So I was right. We do talk to the orca on this level. See, I know
Yeah.
I know my Echo, even though it had been a while.
Yeah, it's just odd how these guys were not talking.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought I had read somewhere that when you have a phony password, that stuff like that happens. But as long as we can progress, then I know we're okay.
Yeah.
Because the game will stop you from progressing if it senses you have bad password.
Yeah, and I didn't see any problem.
Okay.
Open ocean.
Open ocean.
You might want to take a picture of this.
Yeah,
one.
just in case.
Yeah.
I know we have time.
We do. All right. So,
Abkavix.
Yep. You got it?
Yeah.
Good. It's very open and dangerous. That's tell me twice. And this one we just have to rush right, I think. Right?
Pretty much you just have to survive and swim for a very long amount of time.
Yeah.
And then you will
The music's a
eventually.
little unsettling, yeah. Speed up.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fast as the music in the Genesis version,
Right.
which actually started playing through my head immediately when I saw Open Ocean. It's that iconic to my brain.
Yep.
Yeah, I get all fanboy with Echo stuff.
Understandable. It's your childhood.
Whoops. Yes, it did. It was a part of my childhood. Even though they're really weird, I would even not mind getting a copy of the Echo the Dolphin comic books, but I imagine they're expensive AF because they're probably rare and weren't printed very much.
Right. I'm taking advantage of the sonar that I have.
Yes, yes. That is definitely helpful.
There. Got a little hurt, but I'm hoping I can pull through.
Yes. We did it. Yep. Ice zone. We have made it to the ice zone.
That we have.
Okay. I think we're doing pretty good this time.
I think so. Just make a picture of me as well. Alright. Okay. So let's progress. You got the picture? Good.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Alright. Tiger sharks. I forgot about these brown dudes. The brown sharks in this game. Cool looking. I have to be. Ooh, yeah. That's how could I forget? This little guy went through this whole adventure. Although these sharks don't really seem to be obsessed like the
Yeah.
hammerheads or the great whites.
Oh, gosh.
What do you see, buddy?
It looks like some of the Sega CD only levels are later on.
Ah,
Like after this little cold water portion that we're in.
right.
We'll see some original just to the Sega CD levels. I think. Yes. Because I'm pretty sure they didn't look familiar to me.
I see. Bit of a challenge though, because I can't really find fish.
Right. Yeah, the ice levels are tough.
They are. They were. Both on the Genesis and then on the Sega CD. Ah. They're a little bit tougher, I have to be honest.
Yeah,
I have done this before a long time ago.
exactly. You have.
Yeah. These snow crabs, man.
I know. Kind of scary.
They are.
I think what I have to look again, but I thought I had read that this takes place somewhere near. Well, it was never actually said, but it was guessed that it took place like in the kind of Mediterranean
Ah, that makes
area.
sense.
The most of the regular part of the game.
I know you said Annunziata was from Italy, right?
Yeah,
That kind of makes perfect sense that this would be in the Mediterranean Sea.
yeah. I mean, he lives in California, but yes, he is originally from Italy.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That also makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my snack.
Oh, yeah. Ah, this crab, man.
The CD version definitely recycles a lot of the same music too, doesn't it?
It does. I kind of expected it,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew we were getting CD quality sounds.
Yeah.
But I know it's a tough call because um, we're used to and we love the Genesis music. It's got that rock and vibe to it,
Yeah.
but at the same token, you're getting an upgrade with CD quality sounds you
Right.
couldn't enjoy on the Genesis.
Right.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely. Yep.
yeah. Where is the other?
It's a good question. I don't remember.
That's okay. I don't either.
Yeah, I like the design of the tiger sharks.
Me too. They're very pretty.
And I like how Echo slides across the ice.
Yeah, it's cute.
Mm-hmm. This level definitely feels very cold.
Yeah.
Even though it's April, it's going to get cold again the next
Yeah.
next 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I liked the 60-degree days. 70-degree days were
Oh,
fine too.
there was a health spot.
Aha, fishies,
I was
yay.
wondering where this was. There's some crabs down there. I don't know what else is up there. There's stuff here. A lot of twists and turns, gotta be honest.
Definitely.
But I think that's the edge of the world. Good to know where the hell there's turn there. I confess, I kind of felt a little somber after playing Tides of Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Because
it was over the experience, you mean?
yeah, that
Yeah.
it was over the experience and then the realization that Echo is still traveling through time and space.
Yeah.
That he'll never come home to his pod.
I suppose he was dealing with the guilt that all happened because of him, like the experience, the events of Tides of Time.
Poor thing.
So see, and that's not out of the realm of. I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that a real dolphin in Echo's situation might react that way. Because I personally, I mean, we don't necessarily have proof of this, but it doesn't seem out of the realm of a dolphin's intelligence, in my opinion, to be able to put two and two together like that.
Essentially, he decided, well, all the bad stuff happened because I'm around, so therefore they're better off without me.
Or he at least didn't know what to do, because I suppose he thought if he went back home, there's still that slim chance that the Vortex Queen could follow him again. So I don't think he was necessarily sure where to go. We don't actually know if he settles down somewhere eventually. It sounds like if he had gone on and made the third game in the original timeline, that what he actually planned to have Echo do was go back to Atlantean times and help the Atlanteans fight the Vortex. So that way he stops the Vortex back then, from destroying the Atlantis civilization.
Took a picture of that.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. Got the picture?
Uh-huh.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Sunset.
Hard water is a very difficult level.
As I remembered, yes. Oh yeah, the ice. That can kill you.
Yeah, those things.
And the thing is, I remember ice can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. It can.
Yeah. But we need it because that's what's needed to keep both cold and good for it to keep the water level
Mm,
at a reasonable level. It looks like our tiger sharks are now being aggressive today.
yeah, they get more aggressive in this area.
Yeah.
There probably aren't that many dolphins here in the cold,
Yeah.
so I imagine they're like, "Ooh, that's a pretty big meal."
Yeah, after
Yeah,
at first ignoring me in the first part of the level, they're like, oh, okay. And just mostly going about their day, as you saw. Now all of
yeah,
a sudden they're like, huh.
because we're now in the really cold areas, so they probably aren't used to seeing dolphins, and they're like, "Oh, wait, that could be a delicious treat."
I see.
Yeah, that's my guess anyway.
Who knows?
Why they might be more eager.
Unlike the snow crabs who were attacking me from before,
Yeah,
they're the same as the red crabs.
yeah, they're like, they might think you're a small shark.
I
Whoa, whoa,
see.
that
Ooh, yeah.
that was a weird glitch.
Yeah, it was. If I remember correctly, we had to navigate those ices to get to the glyph, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, the ice will kill you instantly.
Yes. Yes, those ice blocks will kill you instantly. That is for sure. Oh, I just realized we're out of time,
Yes, we are.
so I guess we'll end here for now.
Alright.
All right, guys. I think we did take a picture, but you can take
Okay.
another one.
I can't. My battery is out of juice.
Okay. Well, see you guys later.
Take care.